oversized, chunky cardigan closed to obscure the huge introvert emblazoned across the front of her t-shirt. 8 years they'd been friends. They met at the dance studio where Frankie's mother worked, and where Frankie was forced to help out on weekends. And also every bloody Wednesday after school. It was a place so full of pink and sequins and tulle and ribbons that Frankie had quickly developed a chronic and lifelong aversion to all things ultra-girly. Haruna came strutting through the main doors of the studio one afternoon, with a full face of stage makeup, hair pulled back into a severe bun, and wearing a dance tuxedo with black and white tap shoes. Her mother stood quietly next to her, head slightly bowed, probably in embarrassment, as Haruna announced she had arrived and had an appointment with admissions. "You're here for tap class?" Frankie asked. "Tap, commercial, and street," she declared. "And world, if there's still space. But no ballet. Mum says I'm too tall." "Am I too tall?" "No, we take literally anybody," Frankie said reassuringly. She pulled out a sign-up sheet and a pencil. "You'll have to fill this in," she said as she handed them to Haruna's mother. "We have a special going for the term, but she will need some experience. It isn't for beginners." Haruna looked perturbed for a moment, then turned up her chin, tapped her toes in near-perfect rhythm on the tiled floor, before spinning on her heels and coming to an abrupt stop with a sweep of the arms and a dazzle of jazz hands. It was an impressive display of spirit, if not skill. "I'll catch up," she insisted. And she did. Haruna was a great dancer, and she had an amazing natural rhythm, something that Frankie seriously lacked, but made up for with what her mother always described as exceptional confidence in performance. At school, Haruna was the only girl to learn percussion and drums, and so became the best drummer a three-piece girl punk band could ever hope for. Admittedly, she was far better than Frankie deserved. She herself was not exactly dedicated to the practice of her crappy guitar. "Frankie! Haruna!" Amy cycled up at considerable speed and gracefully dismounted. Today, her long, pale purple hair was in pigtails, and fixed up with wire like 2 ski jumps jutting out from her head. Amy was whip-smart and kind to a fault, and although the least musically trained, she couldn't play a note on bass really, she made up for it with cheery enthusiasm. "Sorry I'm late, studying since dawn. Oh, my parents are all over me right now because of that bloody B in physics. Wow, there's literally no one here except the store owners. Oh, and isn't that the girl from the party, the redhead? The girl that was with—" "I don't know," Frankie snapped, before quickly conceding. "Yes, that's her." Then, giving her a half hug and staring up at the grey, damp London sky, she said, "I know the crowd is thin. It's the rain, I guess." "Sure, Frankie." Amy gave her a cheery, supportive grin. "It's going to be great. What time did you leave last night? I didn't see you go. Was it 'cause he turned up?" "Where's Greer?" Frankie interrupted, ignoring the question since she didn't know the answer. Also, it was possible it might lead to other embarrassing questions about last night. Her head pounded, and she suddenly longed for a large, cold glass of Coke. "Oh, I thought she called you. She said she called you?" Amy's eyes darted to Haruna and then back to Frankie. "She can't do sound today. She had to go Wickrams. There's some issue with one of the bands. I don't know. I thought she called you." "It's cool. We'll manage," said Frankie, vaguely remembering some conversation from the night before. Her frustration was quickly turning to anger. "I mean, there's not even a mixing desk, so let's just do a sort of improvised, unplugged set," Haruna interrupted. "As it's our first gig, I'm guessing no one will feel misled. I've got brushes in my backpack." "We are a punk band," said Frankie. "Then we can do what the hell we want," replied Haruna. "Do you even get punk?" "It's okay, Frankie," said Amy. "We can figure it out." "I only have my electric guitar anyway. There must be somewhere I can plug my amp in," Frankie said, lifting a cable and following it along the stage to find its source. "Surely this leads somewhere." "Look, it is what it is," Haruna sighed. "We can work with what we have." "I can't play in these conditions," Frankie moaned, as she realised there was no actual power connected to anything, and that the extension lead had been pilfered for use by the stall selling split-pea soup. "To be fair, you can't really play anyway."